Don't stop.
Hi, thanks for listening. Doing all of my intros to my show today, and I kind of love this, doing them all kind of in a row, doing like 5 or 6 of them in a row, because it makes me go back and think about these amazing people that I got to interview. And I start to reflect back on how many different type of people I have interviewed. I've interviewed psychic mediums, I've interviewed singers, I've interviewed dancers, costume designers, people that are transitioning from male to female, and people that are in cults. And it's everyone that I have interviewed on my show. I've either been interested in them as a person, or I've been interested in the subject. And I've liked everybody that I've interviewed. Everybody has been really fantastic. And I feel like I can start a conversation with anybody now. And before starting this podcast, I never thought I could talk to people like this, but I can really start a conversation and talk about almost anything with anybody, at least for a half hour. I had another show that was a separate show from this one, and I had a co-host that I was doing it with, and that did not work out. We ended up filming 4 seasons. We had major creative differences. And I'm not going to get into any more about that show or him, other than to say that we did a lot of celebrity interviews. And one thing I did realize about myself is that I don't really care about interviewing celebrities. Doing it once in a while is great, but I don't want to work on a show where all we're doing is interviewing famous people and they're telling their same stories over and over and over, what they say on my podcast or what they said on another podcast. And there's nothing new that you're learning about them. And most people really don't care, to be honest, unless they really are a fan of that person. But I like the up and coming stars. I do like to talk about people and talk about how they have a dream and how they want to be famous and how they want to do this and they want to do that. So my guest today is one of those people. His name is Nate, and he was a little shy during the interview, which I appreciate. He's young. I'm not even quite sure how old he is, but I think he's young. I think everybody's young to me now, though. He's a good-looking guy, and I think he's going to be something big one day. When he does become something big, I want him to come back on my show then and talk about who he was when he did the first interview to who he is at that moment. I think he should go for a Marvel Comics superhero role or something. We had a really good discussion. I really liked his name. His name is Nate Mays. Listen to the interview, leave a comment on the podcast and tell me what you think about him. And also let me know what other types of people you want me to interview. Again, I'm into paranormal stuff. I want to interview somebody that's been abducted by an alien or UFO. I love the secret society, Illuminati stuff. I'd love to interview somebody like that. My editor of my show says it's like turning into an X-Files podcast in a way, which I would love. So I love all that mysterious, unsolved mystery stuff. So enjoy the show. Let me know what you think, and more great podcasts are coming. Thanks, everybody. Hi, thanks for joining me on the Everything and Anything and a Bit Gay podcast. Today I have a new guest. He is from LA, or he's based in LA, I should say. His name is Nate Mays. He's a rising actor, model, and visual artist in LA. He's known for roles in It Happens, Gigolo, and On the Same Team, with a background in producing, writing, and doing murals. So we're going to get right into it. So welcome to the show, Nate.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Happy to be here.
So where did you grow up, and how did you get to LA?
Oh, boy. I grew up in Arkansas, Central Arkansas, in a town called Bryant. My family has a farm in Beebe, Arkansas, so I spent a lot of time there. So small town, big town for Arkansas.
Yeah.
Southern lifestyle, all that, all the good stuff. Had a really good community. Fast forward to, I met my biological father when I was 18 years old, and
I want to talk about that too.
Oh, sure. So he was in Los Angeles, and I connected with him, started kind of working with him. We share some of the same passions, and decided I want to pursue this long desire I had of being a film actor, and I want to go for it. And so all the pieces fit together, and I was able to come to LA and start my journey.
That's awesome. And how is it moving from rural Arkansas to LA? The people are so different. The traffic is so different. There's nothing the same about LA and Arkansas. Like, how have you adapted to that?
It's been great. I've found my community. Took me a couple years, but for me, I'm happiest when I have my community. And I had a really strong community in Arkansas, being there my whole life. So
Yeah.
it's not as different as people think. Obviously, it's very urban here. And there is a big culture shift. How I describe it is you're at the window getting some fast food in Arkansas, and the person actually wants to know how your day is going.
Yeah.
And here, just everything's so fast paced. Everyone's typically in LA pursuing a huge career, a passion. And everyone's just fast paced. It's very like self-centered, and not even in a bad way, but just like people come out here to make their dreams come true. And in Arkansas, people live there their entire lives, and their dream, a lot of times is just the white picket fence, get married, have kids. And so it's just different, different goals, different aspirations. But it was a tough shift, like I said, until I got my community.
What's your community? What does that mean? Did you find like a community of actors that you or artists? Like, what is your community?
Yeah, just finding, someone like people along the way. I'd say, the majority of my people come from acting class. You're in this tight knit group that you really get to be your authentic self, and and they get to see like a lot of different sides of you that you would never see your day job. So I have a lot of really good friends in my acting classes, and I've been really lucky to be in a good class. So I would say that's the majority of where I found my people.
So what do you want to do? So you're doing acting, you're producing, you're writing, you're doing your murals. What's your passion if you had to pick two?
I want to be a film actor. I want to be in the movie. When I get my series regular job, I'm not going to turn it down. I'm going to be very grateful for it. But at the end of the day, like I disagree with the idea that movie stars are no more, and I want to be on the big screen, and that comes from just movies being such a huge part of my life, a part of my childhood, and just I want to tell a story, and I want to do it in a very cinematic type of way.
What's a movie that's come out in the last year that you're like, I would have loved to have done that? First of all, I want to ask, how tall are you?
I'm 6'2".
Okay, so what if they would have offered you the Superman role? Would you have done that?
Oh man. Oh yeah.
I guess that's a stupid question, isn't it? Yeah.
I mean, it's fair. If you're like an A-list actor and you're offered a superhero role, I'm sure you might think about it. Yeah, Superman. I grew up watching Christopher Reeve, so I love Superman. Yeah, that's an interesting niche, getting into superheroes and playing those types of roles. Because I know for some actors, you think of like Henry Cavill. He's been fortunate enough to be in a lot of movies, but like when I think of Henry Cavill, I only think of him as Superman. So but I mean, listen, that's like that's like the highest of the high is in terms of like goals. Like I really just want to tell some stories. If I can make a living doing it, that would be great. And just climb the ladder and really get to be in these characters, these roles that I'm passionate about. That's really what I would like to do.
What do you like? Do you like drama, comedy, action? Like, what's your type of acting that you would like to do?
I really like them all. I mean, specifically drama. I like comedy too. I feel like I do have a comedic side that I can show, and so I would be excited to do that. But yeah, action movies for sure would fit my casting. Anything with like Aaron Taylor Johnson or like John Bernthal, like war movies. Those are probably a
Yeah.
big preference of mine. Westerns, being in Arkansas, I grew up watching Westerns. It's like a
Yeah.
dream. It's a dream of mine to land a role, something like Yellowstone
Yeah.
or some type of Westerns are making a comeback. So I'm actually producing a short film Western right now that I'm super excited about. So anything that I can like pull myself into,
Mhm.
whether it's a big role or something small, like I'm not, I just want to play something fun.
So I did a little research on you. So tell me if this is accurate, these numbers. You had 44 auditions, 8 callbacks, and you booked 5 roles just in 2024, which is pretty good. Are those numbers correct?
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. You did do your research. Thank you.
Um,
Yeah.
so I mean, booking 5 roles in 1 year when you're a newish actor is pretty amazing, and even getting 8 callbacks. I mean, are you happy with that? I mean, obviously you would like to get more, but most people probably don't get that many callbacks or that many roles.
I appreciate that. Yeah. I like to really keep track of where I'm at because we don't get a lot of people telling us good job. We don't
Yeah.
get a lot of like we don't get a lot of victory dances. So
Yeah.
so learning how to, when you don't book something, just kind of letting it go and moving on to the next thing. For me, really looking at all the numbers and just this funny game that we're playing, being able to take a step back. I'm like, okay, maybe I did good.
And is your family supportive of this? And are they excited for you to be in LA and have a whole new life? Probably not what they thought you were going to be, right? I mean, they probably thought you would not do acting in LA. But are they happy with this direction you've taken in your life?
Yeah, my family is super, super supportive. I think now more than ever, it's very foreign, very, very foreign in
Yeah.
Arkansas. My mom supports me with everything I do, but she was a little taken back by the whole idea of the move. It's a long move from home, and again,
Yeah.
like I feel like most people in the South like to stay because it's a very homey, family oriented place, and so
Yeah.
that was tough, and it's I'm a mama's boy, so it was tough
Yeah.
leaving,
Yeah.
but they all support me. My dad especially, obviously, because he lives here. So yeah, it wasn't hard. It was hard. The move in general was hard, but their support was unwavering. So that was nice.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you should have gotten married, had 3.2 kids, right? Had a house, done something. That's kind of what you're
Sounds like
supposed to
my
do.
my younger sister. You just
Yeah,
said her whole bio.
exactly. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors. Okay, and now back to the show. So you write and produce. How does wearing those hats kind of change your view of a project whenever you do that? And how do you change your view of the project whenever you're doing the writing, the producing, or maybe you're even acting in something that you've written? Or like, are you kind of doing? How do you kind of change yourself whenever you're doing all 3 of those?
So I don't write for other people. I just write for myself.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't want to claim to be this wonderful writer that writes TV shows and series for people. It's become more of a something that I pursue just for myself. So everything I write, most of the time I write myself in. Whether it's
Yeah.
like a feature film that I would like to produce someday or a short film or anything, yeah, I try to have myself in mind just because that's what I do for my writing. So and as far as the acting, yeah, it's always the goal. So act like writing always reflects, what how I want to be seen behind the camera, what I want to produce for people to see. Even producing, I mean, I've only produced a couple films that I've been in.
So your Instagram bio says just a weird actor doing weird actor things. So what does that mean that you're weird?
I think it is a really weird life.
Yeah.
Like anyone that is foreign to it, they're like, what do you do? Like my friends call me like, what do you do? Like, what's your daily routine? And it's always weird. It's like I'm getting dressed up for a Western. I'm letting someone put makeup on me. I was wearing a mullet wig. I spent like I had to wake up at 6 a.m. one morning, and for 2 hours I had to make sure this wig looked good for when I go on set for this like weird comedy scene. And I'm like, this is what I'm doing at 6 a.m. on a Tuesday. And so, yeah, I'd say it's very unconventional, and I love it. Like, it's so
Yeah.
nothing against anyone that works a 9 to 5, but that's just not me. And so
Yeah.
I'm very glad that I have an outlet to just be my authentic self and be weird and really just have fun.
And you get to play different characters and be different people, and you don't have to, right? I mean, that must be fun to be able to be somebody different.
Yeah, I think a lot of actors would agree that it helps you with empathy when you get to play very characters that are so far away from yourself. You actually realize that they're not that far away from you when you do the work.
Yeah.
But it helps me to really have a lot of empathy for different people outside of my space, and my community, which is really really special.
So how does kind of the independent short film space compare to the bigger budget projects in terms of like kind of creative, you know, freedom and collaboration? Are you're doing these short films now, or these, and you kind of have control, right? Because they're yours. And how will it be whenever you have to switch over? Because I think you're going to be something big. Whenever you moved into a big movie, are you ready for that? Kind of where you don't have as much control.
I'll be ready for it when it happens, I guess. Yeah, I'm getting more familiar with just the things that I can control, and I want to really continue to study and get to know the camera, lighting, what the DP does, what the director sees. Like I really like, I'm learning more and more. Like the film industry is not getting any easier, and I hope more things come out where people are being able to get paid what they're worth and all that. But at the end of the day, like we really got to work really freaking hard. And so that means not just saying, oh, I'm a talented actor, let me show you what I have. Like I'm not Tom Cruise. So I have to really know. And even actually, ironically, Tom Cruise knows everything about everything when it comes to film, So I want to have that type of knowledge. Like when I'm on set, I want to know exactly what to do. Who's looking at me, what they need from me, just so it's easier as I continue to grow in my career.
Who would be kind of a dream for you to collaborate with or to do a role with? Like, who would be, tell me a guy or a woman and a man. Like, if you had to pick two people in the industry, who would they be?
I think I would really, really like to work with John Bernthal.
Okay.
Yeah, I just love every role he's done, and I listen to his podcast, and so I've been a fan from him for many years, and I just really respect the type of roles that he plays. He has a huge respect for veterans and all his films that he does, and I have a lot of family members that are veterans and working in service. So yeah, I just respect the guy in general, and I love his acting. And I would really like to work with him. As far as the female, like my goddess is Meryl Streep. Like I will study her day in and day out just to try to learn as much as I can from her technique. So put me in the next Devil Wears Prada, whatever. I would just sit at a table with her and just talk to her.
Yeah, I mean, they're shooting Devil Wears Prada 2 right now in New York, and it's like all over. It's all over the internet and Instagram and TikTok and stuff because they're doing it on the streets. They're filming it on the streets. Like Anne Hathaway's in it, Meryl's in it, and Meryl just made her debut this week coming out. So it's kind of interesting to see how crazy fans are, and I'm so happy the movie's coming back for a second round. So I think it's long overdue.
Yeah, she's amazing. She's amazing.
So tell me, what are you working on now? Like, what's on your plate? What's coming up for you? Do you have any things that are possibly close to coming through?
This Western short film that me and my friends are producing hopefully will be done before the end of the year. And I've just been writing. I've been writing on some passion projects, and I kind of took a switch. A lot of commercial auditions happening. Not a lot of film. Not a ton of film this summer. So I've been focusing a lot, getting myself back into theater, taking classes at the Groundlings. So I feel like I've been on like this summer break, kind of like I'm still auditioning and trying to do all I can, but spending a lot of time on just like what's missing in my technique. How do I prepare myself for when I do get these big auditions, these big roles, and and just hit the ground running.
Is the Groundlings that's where a lot of actors started at, right?
Yeah, a ton of actors, a lot of talk show hosts, a ton of SNL.
So yes, I watched. Did you watch the Pee Wee Herman documentary?
No, I haven't seen it, but I know what you're talking about.
You should watch it. It is really amazing. And he started
Yeah,
there with a couple of SNL actors, and Phil Hartman was one of the people that he started
right.
there with, which was kind of shocking to me. And Paul Rubens is his name, not Pee Wee Herman. Paul Rubens had this whole career and knew all these people and did all these things. I had no idea that he ever did this. So if you get a chance, you should watch the documentary. It's really
Yeah, I
interesting.
will. Yeah, I knew he was a Groundlings. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I want to switch topics a little bit. So I know there's another whole side of you that I think is really interesting, where you basically have 18 half brothers and sisters, right?
We're up to 27 now.
27. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So tell me the story, or tell my audience the story, because I know part of it, but share with us what that means and how you discovered it and how you found your dad.
Okay, so I'm a product of artificial insemination,
Okay.
which means I have a sperm donor. I was raised by a single mom for the most part. Me and my sister, my full sister, same mom, same biological donor.
Okay.
Being in Arkansas, we didn't know that we could find him, reach out to him. It's just very foreign there. So,
Yeah.
ironically, I was able to, when I was turned 18, I did some research and found him, and he was very, very open to meeting. And so, first time in California, first time west of Texas, really, when I was 18, I checked him out, and we built a relationship. We got really close, I didn't really know what to expect, but we got really close. And just a wonderful, wonderful human being. And he's helped me kind of connect the missing pieces of what makes me me, if that makes sense. Especially in our artistic level. I'm a painter. He's a painter. So I was able to connect the dots of I never really had someone to share what art meant to me. So anyway, so I moved in with him. Yeah, I have a ton of
Oh, you
siblings.
did. You moved in with him.
Yeah. Not now, but when I first got to
Yeah.
LA.
I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, he offered, I didn't ask. He offered it, and I was like, man, what? It's just such a cool opportunity. And I mean, so I call him Pops. It's funny.
Yeah.
I've known him for, how old am I? 9 years now. So, and it feels like he's been there my whole life.
Yeah.
Lots of siblings, all different backgrounds, all over the country. One in Grand Cayman Islands,
Wow.
Hawaii, New York, every corner of the U.S. Some of them single moms, some of them lesbian moms, some of them just have a dad, but that dad was not able to reproduce. All different kinds of stories. So, we have. It's just wacky. It's wacky. So I'm very close with a handful of them. I haven't met all of them, but I've met most of them. I've met at least 20, 22. So
Wow.
they just keep popping up, but I think we're about to run out. I think this is the last couple. There might be one or two more, but I think this is pretty much it. We just met a new one in November of last year, and this is the craziest thing. I'm not kidding. She turned up out of nowhere. She lives 5 minutes away from my dad,
Wow.
just in
Since-
LA. She's a theater actor, totally ironic, just 5 minutes away. And I'm actually taking a Groundlings class with her right now, just to get to know her. So yeah, it's cool. It's very normal for me, but as I talk to people, I'm like, okay, it's pretty weird.
I think it's so interesting. So I have a person that I knew in college, and we were roommates together in college, and she was adopted, and she did 23andMe or Ancestry or both, and just found her real mom, and she has a sister that lives not super far from her, and they
Wow.
met, and they look exactly alike, I think. And so it's just it's so crazy. Now, if did you how did you find him? Did you find him on like a 23andMe or an Ancestry, or did you have you there was because since he was a sperm donor, you could go that
Sure.
route.
I looked at the California Cryo Bank, where his sample came from. So I contacted them. That was a big headache. I won't get it too in the details of that, but I tried to contact them and say, "Hey, I want to reach out to my dad," and they actually. I don't know if they lied to me or if they were just mistaken, and they said that he wanted to be anonymous. And I think, talking to my dad about this later on, I was like, we think that they just have a lot of people. They don't really want it to be a normalized thing of the offspring reaching out to donors for all kinds of reasons. You can guess. But they let me write him a letter, and he wrote me one back instantly. So, and I called him on the phone. So I went a different route. I think most people found him. I don't know. I'm sure there's like a donor registry site that people found him on. Ancestry, 23andMe. I think my recent sister found him from 23andMe. So a lot of different ways to do that.
That's amazing. And so, I mean, it's kind of awesome that you have these. I mean, it's a lot of siblings, but I mean, you think you'll ever all get together at once for a Thanksgiving or something? I mean, that'd be so cool, I think.
Yeah, I hope so. What's cool is everyone's pretty normal. Like, there's not one sibling that I'm like, I don't want to hang out with them.
Really? Oh, yeah.
Really interesting. I mean, there's 28 of us. You'd think that there's one black sheep that, like, I just don't, But we all get along. Maybe it's the genetics. I don't know. We all get along. But I would love a big reunion. I mean, Inside Edition did a segment on us.
I seen that.
2017, 2018, and that's when there was 19 of us. And so I think for that edition, I think there was like 15 or 16 of us that got together in LA. So that's the biggest group we've ever had. Other than that, everyone's getting married and having kids now, not the LA actor, but there's a couple trips here and there, siblings linking up. It's normally me and some people in California. I like to travel around and see the siblings. Lots of siblings in New York. Whenever we can make it happen. But yeah, it's we have a group chat, so every now and then we hit each other up.
I was going to ask that. Is there a big group chat with all 28 of you?
We can't get all 28 in. Not everyone is into it, which is totally fine. But I think there's like 20 of us that correspond. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. I love that. I that could be a movie right there itself. I mean, like, just you could probably.
I would love to do a documentary. Yeah, there's a couple of producers. There's like 5 or 6 producers over the years that have reached out to me and some others about doing a reality show, but nothing. It just didn't take. There's some ideas that we didn't really like, or the networks fell through. So I would like to just run it someday and do a documentary or something. That'd be pretty cool.
Cool. And then the last part of it, I think you have is as and you talked about this as your father's an artist and you're an artist as well. So tell me about how you're painting murals and how do you kind of get into that and what made you get into that?
Sure. Yeah. I'm very passionate about painting. I've been fortunate to have parents that have nurtured that, because it's not something that you think would make you money. And so I feel like a lot of households kind of negate that. But all my life, I guess I did artistic things with my hands, whether it was drawing or painting. And my mom really nurtured that. And I had teachers in school, one particularly that really nurtured that. She's actually my art teacher in high school actually recommended I reach out to my dad. She was like the only one. So I think of this really beautiful connection for me coming from art in a way. Yeah. And I kind of put them together. And I love doing portraits. So just a little quick weird thing about how genes work. I've always been a portrait artist. I found out that my dad later on, and my dad is a professional portrait artist.
Wow, so, that's crazy.
the pros. So if that answers your question, but yeah, art's always been a big part of my life, and it will continue to be so. I think whenever kind of life gets hard, I'm always able to fall back onto a canvas or a wall, and I hope everyone has like some type of outlet they can do that with. 'Cause that really makes a difference.
It must be kind of cool whenever you do one of these, and then you can go and it's still there, a couple of years later or whatever. Have you seen that before, where you've taken I don't know, if your mom comes to visit you in LA, you take her to show her one of your murals?
Yeah, I have a couple businesses here that I got to do some really fun murals. I did a Muhammad Ali 20-foot tall portrait not too long ago. But yeah, it's cool. It's fun visiting Arkansas because there's like when I was like a younger kid in college and before that, there's some big murals I can go back and visit and just kind of reminisce. It's kind of nostalgic. Yeah, I would love to do some more like public murals in LA. That's the goal for sure.
Cool. Well, I have a good vibe about you. I think you're going to be something big. And all I ask is whenever you get that first big movie, that you come back on my show and let me help you promote your big movie, because I think it's going to be a big one, I think, whenever it happens. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Zach. This has been a joy. Yeah, thank you for the discussion and just your interest. I feel like a lot of smoke coming out. I don't talk about myself as much, but I appreciate your interest. And, I hope it's able to maybe touch someone, maybe relate to someone. I don't know. Yeah, so if you want to know more about Nate, you can follow him on Instagram. His Instagram is Nate, Mayes, Mays. He also has another one, Murals by Mays, Mayes. So follow him and send him a message and let him know what you think about the interview. And also, I'll put his Instagram in the description of this podcast or the video, whatever you're watching, and so you can go to it that way too. Do you have a website or anything, or that's the best way to get you is Instagram? Let's just do Instagram. Yeah, it's the best way to correspond. So cool. Thank you. Well, I appreciate you having you on. You're amazing. And like I said, come back whenever you make it big, because it's going to happen soon, I think. Thank you so much, Zach. Thank you. It's a joy. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Be sure to leave a comment and subscribe to the podcast. Thanks, everyone.